my name's Aileen Milton. I'm the president of the Villages Tea Party, and with me tonight is
Jim.
Okay, Jim. Today we're going to do the question of the day, and we're calling this the series Men on the Bench. Here's the question. President Obama is thinking about granting executive amnesty to 5 million illegals. What do you think that's going to do to our country? What's your opinion, Jim?
I think it would destroy it.
How?
The people that want work can't find work now. They're going to do it with 5 million additional people that don't have any skills. They want to take the jobs away from Americans. I don't think it's right. They didn't work to get here. They're not going to pay taxes, and they don't want to become citizens. So I think we'd be better off if we took them all and sent them all home.
And are you then in favor of fence? Are you in favor of sending them home? Are you in favor of checking visas? What do you think that America needs to do?
I think the border should be shut down for everybody that crosses it. And if they want to come without going the right way, they should be shot as they enter, just like Mexico would do if we went there.
Okay, well, Jim, we appreciate your comments tonight, and we definitely do need to do something. Do you think, what do they call it, a comprehensive immigration program needs to be implemented or not?
At this point, I don't think Congress knows what comprehensive means.
Okay. Well, let me tell you, this is today is August 28th, and this is our interview, Men on the Bench. Thank you, Jim, for being with us.
Okay, thank you.
It was fun. Hi, here we are, and this is our Men on the Bench series, and with us tonight is
Jeremy Richards.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hi.
We appreciate you taking the opportunity to sit down with us. What do you do for a living around the village?
I'm an IT engineer right here in the village.
Oh, okay. Well, we have a question tonight. We'll call this sort of the Q&A for the week. President, we understand that President Obama is thinking about granting executive amnesty to 5 million illegal immigrants. What do you think that will do to this country, and what's your opinion on how we can do something about the border issue?
I don't think it's going to help the country at all. I'm not sure why that decision would be made. It seems like it would put a stress on the country as a whole financially, and nobody's saying no that nobody can come in. We're just saying come in the right way, come in legally, and go through the due process. That way you can acclimate into the American system, which includes self-support.
Do you think the president, by possibly going through executive order, he's bypassing our Congress and our laws in this country?
Oh, without a doubt. I don't think that should be possible. There was a reason that the House and Congress was set up. It was for accountability among all three of the branches. So yeah, that definitely needs to stay in place.
Do you know how many legal immigrants come into our country every year?
I don't know.
It's over 1 million. And I think what we need to do is to fix our immigration program and also abide by our current laws rather than trying to put out new laws that we're not enforcing the current laws. What are your plans? Are you voting in the November election?
Oh, for sure.
And what do you think will happen if the Republicans get the Senate?
That's a good question. What would I like to see happen? Or what would I hope? I mean, I'd hope that we can start fixing some of these issues, and definitely with the borders, it needs to get under wraps because we're not in a good place financially in this country right now. But even to help others, we need to get our own home in order first, and then we can go for liberty and other things like that. But hopefully, when the elections happen, if we do get some Republicans in there, that we can start kind of coming up with a solution that'll fix this, put a stop to the illegals coming in, and make sure that we go back to the proper process for entering the country.
Okay, let me ask you one final question here. If the Republicans win in November, which we pray they do, what would be your concrete issues that you think should be addressed as soon as possible? If you had to tell the Republicans out there what they need to do.
I mean, besides immigration, which would definitely be a big one, we need to make sure that there's some accountability within the government. It seems like that's kind of going out the door, and we hear a lot of Obama this and Obama that. And I'm thinking, this, the public wants this, but this is what Obama's doing. That should never happen. It should be possible. I'm hoping they're going to start addressing things like that.
Do you think he's overstepping his authorization?
Oh, clearly.
Okay. And by bypassing the Congress, we become almost a lawless society. Is that a problem for you? Maybe your children, if you have children?
Oh, sure. I mean, I don't see how that's not a dictatorship. It makes it like the House and Congress are just. I mean, they're there, but it's like an illusion. It doesn't seem to do anything if he can just make whatever decision that he wants, regardless.
What do you think about the economy and what's happening?
I think that there's a mix between some really bad government decisions and some really poor responsibility on the American public in general too. So I think as people, we need to take some responsibility for our own finances and working and taking care of our own needs, and the government needs to
step back.
Yes.
Step back, and individuals need to be responsible.
Need to be responsible. You can't
self-motivated.
Absolutely, and that comes at a cost. I know that, but that means families need to get together and work together a little bit more to make it happen. So it's just part of it.
I think I've enjoyed you being with us with the men on the bench tonight. Okay, we'll be up on our website soon.
Okay.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Please keep fighting and go out and vote in November.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Oh my.
Hi, here we are on the bench again, and today is Thursday, August 28th, and with us, believe it or not, is Mike Lewis stopped by because he enjoyed getting it off his chest last week, and so he's going to tell us what he saw on the 4:30 news today. What did you discover?
Well, this is an American holiday, Labor Day coming up, and the Muslim in the White House once again got on the airways, and he said nothing about helping the situation with ISIS that is a big threat to us. Once again, he doesn't really care about protecting the people of this country from a real threat where they've vowed to come after us. As we witness, they already cut one of our journalists' head off after him playing all those rounds of golf and coming back fresh off his vacation. His speech today was so inept. Once again, he gives clear signs, like he's done over the last couple of years, that he supports radical Islam by not having a comprehensive plan to go after these terrorists. And it's very disheartening once again to hear him a few days before Labor Day. He still doesn't get it. He's still completely detached. All we heard today was he just wants to protect the people around the embassy and do nothing else, where the whole country is asking him, please protect us. Please, you've got to go out and kill these people. You've got to go into Syria. You've got to go into Iraq. You've got to really go after these people. The only way to stop them is to wipe them out. And he just, once again, doesn't get it. He's got no plan. All he did today was rhetorically bloviate about nothingness without telling us that he's here to save us and protect us. And once again, I believe, like we talked about last week, that our biggest threat to date, after his speech today, is definitely Barack Hussein Obama. Is clear to most Americans that this is the number one threat that we face.
Let me say, insert something here, Mike, because I think what he's doing is intentionally not doing anything, because he is waiting until the American people are hurting so bad that he will intentionally then step in. And let me tell you, that is exactly what Hitler did, and exactly the procedures that Sal Halinsky's predict. And let me tell you, the truth is, I do not understand, America. Do not cry for him to step up. Because when he steps up, because he is inciting us until we're to the point that we're going to beg anybody to step up and save us, be careful sometimes what you wish for. We need to get to the elections on November, and we need to, in some way, control him and stop him. And the only way we're going to do it is by changing the Senate of the United States. And then we can possibly help change some of the ideas and the problems that this country faces. The Republican needs an opportunity to stop Obama's terror through this country.
Absolutely. He made a mention of what's going on with our border crisis today. There are so many Americans that are so upset that their own children are not getting the same treatment as citizens that these foreign aliens that are crashing our borders are getting. And once again today, in front of the world, his only solution was he wants to send more judges down to the border instead of actually stopping our borders from being overrun.
Mike Lewis may become a regular on the Men on the Bench episode, but Mike, we're going to thank you for being with us tonight. Stay active, stay educated, and definitely get out and vote. I will say that I think our primaries Scott did very well, and more Republicans got out and voted on August 26th than ever before.
Yeah, and I'd just like to say, whoever sees this interview, please, Americans, don't be afraid to save our country. Speak up. Don't let these fascist people intimidate you and make you crawl into a corner and put your head in the sand. Speak up. Tell the story. Let's save a country. God bless you.
We're here on the Villages Square at Lake Sumter. Stop by on Thursdays and let yourself voice your opinion and get it off your chest, America. Thank you. Okay, here we are. We're on the square tonight, and we normally have the men on the beach, on the bench, on the beach. We all like to be on the beach. It's hot enough, but we're doing women on the bench right now. Tell us who you are.
I'm Kathleen Renke.
How you doing, Kathleen?
Great. Wonderful.
Wonderful. I saw you passing by earlier today, and I thought this woman might be interested in interviewing with us. We have a question tonight, and the question is, President Obama is thinking of granting executive amnesty to 5 million illegals. What is your opinion, and what do you think that's going to do to this country, and do you have any suggestions, or what do you feel, and what do you want to tell America?
I guess I probably would have a different opinion than most people when you ask them that question. First of all, I feel that we need to be humane. For one thing, I also feel that we should be praying for wisdom for our president, no matter what we think of him or things he has done. I feel that all humans, because we're humans, do fail at times. It isn't a decision. I know that God allows. He doesn't cause, and God allows. And I know that even when I go into the voting booth, I ask, who should I vote for? And I just let him vote. I think more of us need to pray for those, as the Bible says, that are in authority. And if we fail, don't you think that President Obama might fail at sometimes? I think that presidency, I would hope that Dr. Billy Graham would have had a better time with Obama when he did take that office. Past that, I guess I would just pray daily for our country, for those in Congress, those that are in leadership, including the president. I would pray that we will have more Christians in office. It's not the kind of answer that you would probably like. I can't say. Only God can allow. I can't say what it would do to our country, except I would say that the United States of America needs to be in leadership. And in leadership, we're showing other countries what we think of humanity and how we would like to be treated. I would hope that those that are in office, like Rick Scott, I feel that he will do a good job. One of my questions to him on July 4th, I was told that I asked him about his faith, and I hope that there's some way in which he'd bring it out, that the Christians will be more in office, because if you're a Christian, you're more Christ-like. And that's our aim here on earth, is to be more like Jesus Christ. And what do you think it would happen to our country if Jesus Christ would allow that many, 5 million, to come in? I put it because many times Jesus would answer with a question. So I'm going to ask you, what do you think would happen?
Well, I think what we're not doing is we're not teaching them the importance of freedom in their own country. And I think there are opportunities in South America that are abundant, but their government is corrupt. The answer is not here. The answer is in their own homes. And we need to teach them about how America started, how we survived, and how it's up to individuals. I can understand in some cases why they are leaving. It is about drugs, it's about the criminals down there, and it's about corrupt government. But they absolutely have a beautiful countries in South America. I've been there. They have a lot of natural resources. We need to teach them how to stand up and fight for their own freedom, is what my opinion is.
Now, I can tell that you have been led by God to give a very wise answer. You know so much more about this than I do, but we were given 2 ears and only one mouth, and you let me be wiser on this subject. I thank you for this opportunity today.
Thank you. This is what this concept is. It's about letting people, Americans, express their feelings, because I think our media, who is controlling what is being said, needs to change. And that's why we're here on the square tonight and wanting honest opinions from other honest Americans.
I think you gave some very good reasons why you think that how we could solve this matter. And I agree with everything you said. And I know that I need to know more about politics. God is moving me now into a whole lot of books on Reagan and on Eisenhower and on Hillary and a whole lot. And so that's my next move. This is my 15th year in theology. And so now I'm going into politics. And next time we'll be seeing Dr. Billy Graham. So I'm sure he'll have a lot to say on this.
I'm going to invite you to our meeting that is going to be on October 27th or 28th, the Monday. And with us that night will be Bill Federer, a very, very great Christian man, but he's also a historian and author, and he will explain to us the importance of history, the rise and falls of the different empires, and that America is on a tipping point right now, and we can save this country, but it's going to take all of us to do it, and it's going to take us understanding the history and what God's intentions were and are for this country.
I think maybe you'd like to know that President George Washington's my cousin, and his second wife is my cousin also. And so I have studied some in that area. There's so much that we don't know. As Americans, even though we're voting, I would never go into a booth and vote for anybody unless God guided that vote. So I have to go at a different angle. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to go, and if God sends me, I'll be with you again. I'm really happy that you're wearing red, white, and blue. I think that you're doing a very good job, and I think this is something that we need to take more seriously than we do. But I think it always starts with prayer. And when I pray, I would pray that I will meet more people like you.
Well, thank you very much. I am honored by your words. Have you gone to see the movie America?
No, but I'll tell you something. God is just so good to me. He brings me something, and the last video I'm watching, and I probably will have it made into a CD, is the history of our White House from the very beginning, and it's amazing. The things that I don't know, but you can tell if I'm doing the White House and I'm studying these other presidents that God has me. I know that God is leading me to bring peace in the world. In Jesus Christ, this is the will that He has for me. Didn't know that I would be making this public, but I am now. After being with Billy Graham, my main mission on earth is peace.
I want to tell you another organization I think that you would fit right into, and it's called WIN. Women Impacting the Nation, another great Christian organization in women. And they are also with the Liberty Council with Matt Staver. Okay, and Sue came and spoke to us, Sue Trombino, and what she said is, and you almost quoted it verbatim, is she was amazed about what she didn't know that she didn't know.
That's right.
Think about that. So thank
The more you know, the more you know you don't know.
That's exactly right. So we all have to be better educated. Thank you for being with us tonight. Please stop by. We'll be doing this every Thursday between now and the election, and come back and tell us what else you learned. And thank you for sharing that you're part of George Washington's heritage.
Thank you very much.
Hi, we're back on the Man on the Bench program, and with us is
Wayne Morrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne, for being with us.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, we have one question tonight, and you can expand on it. Is President Obama is thinking about granting executive amnesty to 5 million illegals. What do you think that's going to do to our country, and what do you think we, the American people, should be telling this president?
Okay. Well, if we look at history, there are a lot of immigrants that came to this country, including my grandparents, and they came, I think, the correct way. They came through Ellis Island, and they got citizenship the correct way, and they became productive citizens in the United States. They didn't get a free pass. They learned to speak English, although it was very difficult.
Where are your grandparents from?
Both are from Italy. Yeah, both from Italy. And so the current situation I see here from the Mexican invasion, I call it, is nothing to do with immigrants. It's really to create a voting populace that helps the Democratic Party. And
But that's years away from happening when they're bringing these young people in. Why do you think that they're looking so far forward, okay, and hooking these young people in and their parents right now?
Well, I think it helps the current residents who are from Mexico and South America now, because there are people here that are there. It's like 27% of our population is Hispanic. It's greater than blacks in the United States, so they're a big voting bloc. As a matter of fact, in the news, just before I came here, there was a march in Washington against sending back the illegal immigrants back to their countries. So there was a march by those people, whoever they were, I don't know. I think they were politically motivated to do that. So that's happening. So it defocuses on what our country really was. If you want to come to the United States and participate as a citizen, there's a right way and a wrong way. And I think there's a right way, and I think that's the way we should approach it, not just open the borders and make it porous. Because other than children, I think terrorists and other people of areas that we don't want in the United States will come. And I think that's really a concern of most of Americans, not little kids, but other illegals that are real problems in the United States.
Do Americans not understand that we have a legal process and that the legal process is there to protect America?
That's a good question. I don't think they do. I think they look at it with open arms, and everybody can come in with, with any cost. And I think they forget of our back in the 20s when there was a process in place and how our country was founded by a multitude of nationalities which made our country great. I think they forget about history. And with that in mind, I think it's more politics than history. And that's what I see. I think people forgot of what our country was made on. And it wasn't illegals running across the borders illegally trying to find some place called home at the taxpayer's expense.
Do you think there's a book out called When Money Dies, or there's another book called How Do You Kill 11 Million People? Do you know the answer to that?
Tax them to death.
No, the actual answer is you lie to them.
Okay.
And so when you lie to both the people that are coming in from South America and from across the world, and Americans are being lied to about what actually is happening, we're actually creating a major disaster about to erupt. What do you think?
Well, I think it's already here. It's a function of, as we look at the elections coming up here in a few months, I think it's already polarized the United States into more racial, ethnic backgrounds as we speak today. So that's not what America's about.
But don't you think that what this president is doing and his policies are actually intentionally disrupting and pitting one American against another, one race against another, one religion against another, poverty against the rich, poverty against the middle class against the upper class?
Right. Absolutely. It's an old adage of conquer and divide, and that's certainly what our president's doing. But you know, if you look at our history, our power base is really through Congress. And if we elect a strong electoral Congress, which represents the desires of our people who are constitutional minded, I think that problem goes away. It's not like in Europe where we have a king or a potentate. I think Congress is really the key. And our job as citizens to make sure we're informed and understanding who we're voting for, whatever they're senators or congressmen, that represent us as people. And if they can vote with a conscience and uphold the Constitution we have in the United States, a lot of the problems we have today will go away. But what happens, people vote on partisan politics, and they forget about the oath they took about upholding the Constitution. And I think Americans forgot the principles of what we're founded on.
I have one more question, okay, for tonight. Tell me, what would you advise the American people that they need to be doing right now to save this country?
First of all, I would recommend they read the Constitution and find out what has made this country so great and so unique. I think that's really critically important. And it's a shame most can't even name the capitals of our country, various states that we have. And but knowing the Constitution and electing individuals who truly will uphold the constitutional principles of our country. And I think if they do that and be involved and not wait for someone else to take over for them, I think will be the turning point. And it's difficult, but I think they have to get involved and they have to really understand what our country really is. And they forgot the history and the wars that we have fought. Here in the villages, you have a lot of veterans and friends, including myself, have died in wars. It's tough. And they forget that freedom is not free. And once they understand that it's at risk, is that I think they'll stand up and stand in the gap and do what's right. I think that's what they need to do.
Thank you, Wayne, for being with us tonight. This was Man on the Bench, and we'll continue to do this on Thursday nights. Thank you, Wayne, and thank you for your opinion, and thank you for your volunteerism and your help.
Absolutely.
Hi, here we are with the next Man on the Bench, and tell us your name.
My name is Bill Shantz.
Aren't you a member of the Villages Tea Party?
I am a member of the Villages Tea Party.
And aren't you also helping us with our camera crew?
I am. That I am.
Okay. We want to ask your opinion tonight, Bill. And what the question is of the day is, President Obama is thinking of granting executive amnesty to 5 million illegal immigrants. What do you think is going to happen to our country with that? And what would you tell the president that he needs to be doing instead of granting amnesty?
Boy, I tell you, I think granting amnesty to all these people coming into this country would absolutely destroy what's left of the United States. Hopefully that will not occur. We can only pray that that amnesty will not happen. and I think he ought to be concentrating a little bit more on what's happening in this country rather than playing golf and going on vacations.
Oh, I probably agree with you. I don't have a problem with being a Christian, okay, to the children, but the truth is, I don't think people understand that they're not free by coming here illegally.
Yep, that's absolutely correct. There's absolutely no benefit to them coming here, I don't believe, because there's going to be continuing problems for them. And I just feel that it's absolutely the wrong thing to happen.
Sometimes you actually have to be able to help yourself and survive in order to help others. And I don't think we're helping these illegal immigrants by allowing them to come into our country and really enslaving them and enslaving their future.
Yeah, I certainly can't agree with you more on that because they're looking for the free handouts that the United States has been given to everybody. And that's not the way to come into this country and become a citizen.
I think a lot of them are trying to escape their country because what's happening in their country. I understand that, but there has to be a way that we can teach them to fight for freedom in their own country.
Absolutely. There's got to be a way, from what I understand, there are so many people in this world today that earn less than $2 a day. They come to this country thinking that they're going to get handouts and make considerably more than $2 a day. I think these people need to be taught in their own countries how to go out and earn a living.
I sort of agree with you. I think education, they have some beautiful countries in South America and a lot of natural resources. What we're not teaching them is how to fight against their crime in their country, fight against their corrupt governments, just like we're trying to fight our corrupt governments, and also learn to be free. But they've got to be free and live and survive in their own countries.
I absolutely agree. I think that's the only answer to solving the world problems is they've got to stand up for their rights in their country and do what they need to do to make their country better.
Our country does have legal immigration, and the United States opens their arms to over 1 million legal immigrants a year. That's what we want. That's the process. We do need to do a lot of reforms, but there's a way to do it without granting and putting our own country in jeopardy, which does us no good to help our southern borders.
Yes, that's for sure. And I don't know how I can expound on that anymore. I think you've done a good job of saying it the way it needed to be said.
Well, thank you, Bill, for being with us with our series, Men on the Bench. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your volunteerism, too.
You're certainly welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, we're back on the square, but this time we've got a woman on the bench. This is our Men on the Bench series. Okay. But every once in a while we sneak in a woman.
Thank you.
Well, tell us your name.
Jan Morrow.
How you doing, Jan?
Fantastic. The weather's beautiful. It's a lovely day at the Villages.
Jan is actually a member of the Villages Tea Party.
Yes, I am.
She's new to our area, and so we're learning more about how Jan feels about a lot of different issues. But the question for the night, Jan, is President Obama is considering granting executive amnesty to 5 million illegal immigrants. What do you think, and how do you think that's going to affect our country? And do you have any suggestions for and to tell America and tell this president?
Wow, that is a mouthful here. There's so many emotions on this issue with illegals crossing the border, and the fact that you could have a president grant executive orders at the rate he does that really doesn't allow for in our Constitution. So I have to look at, I think he's breaking the law by doing that, by granting amnesty to people who are illegal. This isn't breaking our laws. And these are not just illegals. This is an invasion. This is an invasion of illegals. These are people that were deliberately coaxed into coming to the United States by the Obama administration, and that's come out in the news. And they have offered to give them chaperones, told them exactly what to do, and we have to also think about this thing. There's a lot of falsehoods around this issue because they're not really children. Majority of them are adults, and they're gang members that are invading our country. So this is an invasion, an illegal invasion. This has nothing to do with illegal immigrants. My grandfather came from Greece at the age of 17 through Ellis Island legally. He learned to speak English. He worked hard. He started his own business. After all, he was a Greek guy, so he had to have a restaurant, right? You know? And he made the best chili sauce in the world. So never had health care insurance, took care of himself, and yes, everybody, he carried his gun in his holster in Cleveland, Ohio. So, where are the good old days? That's all I can say.
Well, how would your grandfather, who came in legally into our country, how do you think he would feel today? Or is he still with us? Or
Oh, no.
Okay, how would he feel today about what's happening to the illegal immigration program?
He would be totally against it, because immigration is when people are coming here to make a difference, to build our country, to offer the rest of the people here that are living here, honest citizens, of value. These people are devaluing our country, and there is no reason that we should allow people who have invaded us illegally to have the same rights that we do as honest citizens. This is totally illegal and against what our Constitution and what our government stands for, and what against the laws of this country are, the immigration laws.
Let me ask you this from a little different angle. As a Christian nation, what is it that we need to be doing to help these people, because they're still people, on going back to their country and fighting for their own freedom? They're not free here in the United States, coming in illegally.
They're not free because
they're illegal.
But the president wants to make them free, and they're living in hotels. They're getting free health care. They're getting driver's license issued to them in other states right now, and people are hiring them. So I don't know whether they've lost any freedoms. They're illegally working the system, and our government, the federal government that is supposed to protect us, the honest citizens that pay taxes, is doing nothing about it. I think we need to get Obama out of office, and every senator or congressman that supports the illegals in this country. I think they need to go back home, because they are not wanted here right now. They have done this illegally. They're here to tax us and to hurt this country, and that's my opinion.
Well, I think we do need to teach them to fight for their own countries and not abuse ours.
Well, yeah. Well, I suppose so, if they have any sense of patriotism for their own country. But I think they're coming here because they have been coaxed into this by the Obama administration. Once again, they're the ones that brought them here in the first place, and they did it deliberately to create crisis so that we would have problems, and he would be able to say, I'm doing an executive order and I'm going to take care of this.
So Obama is lying to the illegals.
I think so.
He's lying to the American citizens.
Yes.
What is his end game?
His end game is to destroy the fabric of this country and the Constitution. Because if he can do that, he can create his own socialist utopia, and he then becomes the dictator that he is trying to become right now. He's trying to totally transform us. That's what he told us in the elections, and he's doing it. And he's going to use these illegals to vote Democrat.
I agree with so many of those statements, and I think what Obama's doing and has done and told us he was going to do is very, very intentional.
Yeah, absolutely.
And America has to wake up. We have a right to self-protect ourselves, and we have a right to a sovereign country. There's nothing wrong with immigrants like your grandfather coming through our legal immigration system. America welcomes over 1 million legal immigrants a year. We just ask that our illegal immigrants not disobey our country's freedoms, rights, and laws.
I agree with you, Aileen. And if we had somebody in the right position as president who understood the Constitution, who upheld the laws of the land, including the Justice Department in that regard, then we wouldn't be facing this. If we had somebody else. Look what Rick Perry's doing. Rick Perry's having to act on the law himself, because he can't get the President of the United States, who has sworn an oath to the Constitution and whose job is to protect our borders. He's not doing it, so Rick Perry's had to take care of it himself.
Well, he did the same thing in Arizona, and he allowed 16 foreign countries to sue the state of Arizona because of Arizona trying to protect their borders against the influx of illegal immigrants. Our country and our senators need to hear what America is saying and need to understand that Americans are willing to accept legal immigrants, but we do not want our country overrun and unsecure by allowing our borders, our visa programs, etc., to be run amok.
I agree with you. I agree wholeheartedly, and I wish that everybody would stand up for this and contact their elected officials, all your congressmen, all your senators. I don't care whether they're a Republican or a Democrat. Contact them and voice your opinion. In fact, go to their offices. Take about 6, maybe 12 of your friends with you. They don't like it when you show up, and that'll make a difference. So I suggest that, and maybe we'll get something done.
America, wake up, get out and vote in November, and understand that what this president has done to this country in the last 6 years is he is bringing you down, and that's his intentions. And understand, you're going to have one more opportunity in November with your vote to get out and bring some respectable senators and congressmen back to this country, and then it's up to the American people not to stop. You do not stop come November 5th. You continue staying involved and understand that you can make a difference, America.
Thank you. Yes, I agree.
I love when somebody agrees with me.
I agree with this.
Okay.
Involved, yes. It's up to you. It's up to me. It's up to you. It's up to all of us, because if we don't do something, we will wake up one morning and say, how did we get into this mess? Because it's going the wrong direction right now.
Honestly, I wake up every morning now and feel that way. What in the world is happening to our country and to the world?
And Elaine, I want to thank you, because you do get involved, and she does a fabulous job of bringing the issues to light, because this isn't about a Republican, a Democrat issue. This is about our country, our Constitution, and our freedoms. So freedom is not free, as we know. Many people have fought and died for that, but it says that people have to take responsibilities and they have to work for a living, which is unfortunate now that our president et al. Have allowed so many people to be on the welfare dole. And the immigration issue is one more extension of that welfare dole.
Thank you, Jan, for being one of us, and thank you for being one of the women on the bench.
Thank you. Thank you.